Welcome, everyone. My name is Dima. I'm the Technical Product Marketing Manager at Atera. And together with me is my wonderful colleague, Lee. Um,
Hey there.
Introduce
Hey
yourself.
guys. Yeah. My name is Lee. I'm a product manager here at Atera, specifically managing the PSA domain. So that's professional services automation. That includes everything help desk related, tickets, reports, billing if you're a managed service provider. So all of the above, that's what I do.
Yeah, Lee, welcome. It's been a while. It's been a while since we hosted something together, but it's good to be back. Okay, before we begin, today's agenda. So, why everybody joined us today and what we're going to be discussing is exactly this. So, quick introduction, which we just did. The main topic of today's session is why ticketing needs to evolve, the most recent additions to the platform that we did so far, a quick demo of what those features are in the real environment, how they work, a sneak peek into the future, and some space for Q&A. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, the elephant in the room. Why ticketing needs to evolve. So apparently, what we noticed while talking to our customers, Lee, maybe you can attest to it, that while discovering new like possible development for the PSA component of Atera, you're talking to many customers, design partners, and everyone in between, trying to identify what comes next. So the main topic is that probably you noticed, you can prove or disprove my point. So it definitely started to have more volume regardless of the ticket's nature. So yeah, quick comment on that. Nothing to say.
Ultimately, what we need to understand here is that we are here to scale with your organization, which means that as your organization grows, we need to accommodate the different use cases that are appropriate for you, which means workflows that are more complex, workflows that require more hands, more direct management. We need to be able to consolidate all of those details into a single pane of glass. That way you can manage your organization. And our goal is to sort of show you what we have in store in order to support your growing use cases.
Yeah, that is true. So as Atera is evolving as a product, and while like several features we released in 2025, we introduced the technician groups. We introduced private technician groups, which basically unlock the possibility to use Atera not for only IT purposes, but also like in across department scenarios. The quick hospitality example is if you want to involve your facilities team and you're managing a hotel as an IT person, you can definitely do that. And they will get to keep only the facilities ticket queue, nothing else. They won't see the IT stuff you're doing. And this was exactly the root cause why this feature came to the table. And we, needless to say, we need to meet the end users where they are. And this is exactly why we introduced more channels to begin with, so you can talk to end users and they can talk back where they are, where it's convenient for them, to just reduce the resolution time and make it all work better. So Lee, if you can say something on top of what I just shared, so be my guest.
Sure, sure. Ultimately, every organization works a little bit differently, and we'd like to accommodate all of those needs. So whether you need to support end users that create support tickets via email, the classic way, we can do that. But we can also create different tickets from the portal, which allows you to predefine what kind of flows you'd like your end users to walk through in order to create tickets. We can also create tickets from alerts. That way we can proactively create incidents when they occur. We can also create, of course, tickets manually. And very, very shortly, we'll actually have an integration with WhatsApp as well. So you'll be able to communicate with your end users via texting. So
Yeah,
that'll be a great update when that comes out.
certainly was very eye-opening in 2025 when this started to occur every other week. So this we'll talk about this later down the line, but yeah. And also, we started to notice across the board, while talking to customers of different sizes, that the ticketing system has it has always been, but it started to have even more dependencies. So the cross department communication needs to happen. People need to approve things. People need to talk to one another, and sometimes the ticket cannot be resolved without a cross team collaboration. And this is exactly why we're trying to complement all those requests. uh, we're trying to incorporate all of that into a ticketing system that supports your modern day-to-day needs. And it's a continuous work. It's not a one-time project. It's continuous work. We do a lot of research, what to add, in which order. And Lee will shed some lights on the from when we will touch the features themselves that we're going to be talking about today. But also, certain new features also involve some architectural changes, because Atera is a product that is not today years old. It's a little bit older than this, and also Atera, as it evolves as a product, to unlock new features, we need to also make architectural changes, which are not visible in the UI on the front end. However, at the back end, they mean a lot, and they unlock even more possibilities than ever before. So let's talk about the four main events of today's session, which are four upgrades which we delivered recently. Was late Q4 and Q1, late Q4 2025 and Q1 2026 development, and we'll take those features one by one. But first of all, let's get a high-level understanding of what we're covering today. Number one, to complement the approval flow on across different departments, we introduced the approval flows, and we started to see this as a new column in the ticketing UI, which we'll also discuss. The second one is the parent-child tickets, because when an IT ticket comes in, maybe you have a subtask to complete, and maybe you have dependencies across other departments, and we need to visually and from the product standpoint support that type of request. We also need to support the scenarios and cases where you have several support addresses, or maybe not necessarily help desk address. Maybe it's facilities@companyname.com, as I mentioned before for the hotels example. Maybe you want to separate the facilities tickets from the IT tickets, and they need to be first received from this to this specific address, and also responded from the same address. Until late 2025, beginning of 2026, we supported just one address that you can respond from. However, you can get the tickets from several support addresses. We're changing this as we speak, and it's already available in your environments. We'll show this where it lives. And the last but not least, super substantial change to the tickets page, where the tickets list lives. It's the new ticket UI, which we transitioned to in order to support more customization, more views, advanced filtering capabilities, and beyond. Lee, anything high level you wanted maybe to share, comment here, because why this four, and what is the thought process here?
Sure. So I'd actually like to go a little bit into detail about each one. So let's move on to the next slide. That way we can discuss the use case and why we decided to approach them the way we did. So approval flows. Why does this matter? What does approval flows give us in Atera? Essentially, what we understand from the processes of the many customers that we speak to is that in order to perform many tasks, you have the two main parties which interact with the ticket. You have the requester and you have the technician. But in many cases, in order to perform a certain task, you actually need the approval of, say, a third party, or it could be a fourth or a fifth party, in order to get something done. So what would be an example for that? An example would be an end user goes to IT because they need access to a certain software license. Let's say it's Power BI, right? I need access to a Power BI license. I'm IT. I'm not sure I really manage that. We have a dedicated team for that. I'm able to provide it for you, but I'm not really at liberty to grant that for you. So what we've done is we've created a dedicated approval flow where you can necessarily assign, let's say Dima is the dedicated Power BI approver. We can assign Dima as that approver, and then an approval message will be sent to Dima where he will be sent an email. And of course, Dima doesn't need to be a technician in order to approve or deny this. He can receive it straight to his email address where he can authenticate himself, approve or deny the request. He can also leave a comment specifying, no, I don't want this guy to have it, or yeah, of course this guy should have it. And in addition to managing the approval flows within the ticket page, we can also manage those flows from the tickets list page. So you'll be able to see all the different approvals that are withstanding within the tickets. We also have a dedicated new field within the reporting, which will allow you to manage the different tickets that have approvals attached to them. You can also use the approval flows within the ticket automation rules to make different complex flows. That way, the different approval statuses can trigger different events within the platform. The idea here is to minimize the amount of time that you as a technician have to go chasing your end users to get an approval or a response, and make sure that you get everything on time, and that all the support requests go through the necessary hands in order to meet the end goal. So yeah, that was a bit of the thinking behind the feature.
Yeah. So guys, I see several questions in the chat. Please use the Q&A tab for this. We see your questions, but submit them in the Q&A so they don't jump too high in the chat feed, because it's super hard to follow if we will get too many of those. We see your questions. We'll respond to them. We can even tackle a couple of them right now. So probably, Lee, you're in the right form and the right person to ask those type of questions. So on the approval flow topic, Jeff, I see a question too, but we're discussing the approval flows right now. So let's discuss it right away. So one of the questions, can the approval flows notification email be customized? So as of right now, it's a dedicated email template. However, Lee, maybe there is something in the works that I'm not aware of, but you are.
Sure. So as of right now, it is just a static template. And within that template, we do contain the different context of the ticket. So you will be able to see what exactly that you are approving or denying before you make your decision. As in regards to specific wording that you'd like to have, I think that's something that we can think about. Yeah, it's a valid request.
Okay, and the second question on the topic is that the approver has to log in onto the portal, and Lee, we discussed it the other day, after which it allows you to approve deny. Can we change that? So the thought behind it, let me probably jump in here. So the thought behind it, as you explained it to me back in the day, was the security concern, because unlocked laptop can lead to, like an unopened inbox can lead to not a prank, but a tricky situation that someone can just click it for some reason, but maybe there is something else on top of it why it was decided to be that way.
Yep. So first of all, you're right. It is mainly a security concern. It also has to do with the fact that in some cases you have accounts that actually have a certain amount of password sharing, and we do want to make sure that the correct people are approving the approval items. So I understand that there's a little bit of friction there, but we do try to minimize it in a couple of ways. We support SSO, which allows for easier login. You can also click on forget password and reset your password at any time. So ultimately, it was a little bit of a trade-off, ease of use versus security. And what we decided to do is not take any risks and make sure that we have the most secure platform that we can offer.
Yeah, because we also, as a product which caters to the needs of different industries, healthcare included, for instance, and healthcare IT is super sensitive. It should be super compliant to many security badges that you can think of, many security standards, and it's one of the steps to cater to this need, to put it into simple words. And yes, Chris actually attested to what you just said, Lee, and we set up SSO, so we remove this friction. But yeah, SSO does the job perfectly, so feel free to go ahead and use it that way. Next on the list, parent and child tickets. So pretty self-explanatory. We didn't have it until late Q4 2025. However, let's
But
reverse
yeah,
engineer the feature. Yeah.
yeah. So let's think about why parent-child tickets are interesting. Parent-child tickets, broadly speaking, serve two very broad and important use cases. So the first use case is, as Dima actually mentioned in the previous slide, is project management. So in a project, you essentially have a parent project, and you can call it sort of your title, or you can call it the North Star of your project. And in that project, you basically have different subtasks. So in order to complete my project, I need to finish my subtasks in order to meet the end goal. So an example of a project, and this isn't always, different organizations define a project differently, but we can essentially define this as, say, imagine we have an onboarding ticket. So an end user submits a ticket that they need to be onboarded into the platform. So automatically I know, okay, I need to create a child ticket to Dima to get him his authentication. I need to create a child ticket for Joe to get him his laptop. I need to create a child ticket for Sarah to give him his paperwork to sign. I don't know. But all of those tasks together make sure that he is completing the end goal, which is the parent ticket, which in this case is an onboarding. But we want to support a broad use of projects. So that's one use case, is project management. The second use case that we want to support is incident management. So why is incident management important? So let's say that you have a broad organizational issue. So let's say the Wi-Fi goes out. So you have all of a sudden employees, writing on their phone, sending emails to support. Hey, the Wi-Fi is out. The Wi-Fi is out. The Wi-Fi is out. It's you're getting multiple tickets, but they're all under the umbrella of the same problem. So in this case, we're actually managing all of those different child tickets under a single parent ticket, which is essentially the umbrella for that incident. And in this case, this helps us manage the incident better, because once we know, okay, the parent has been solved, we can actually go ahead and, okay, let's also solve the other ones, because these tickets are not separate, they're actually related. And that's the philosophy behind parent-child tickets, is to take all the tickets that we have in the platform and make sure that they have relationships with each other.
Yeah, that is super helpful, Lee. Thank you so much. Okay, so and a bonus to complement the previous feature that we talked about is that you can have a separate approval flow for both the parent and the child tickets, and the child ticket can still be approved. However, the parent in that case will be having the status partially approved, which can benefit your project management tracking. Okay, multi-source email replies. So I covered it at a super high level. So Lee, let's also deconstruct this feature before, what was the value, what is the value? What was the thought process idea behind this one?
So here we have to do a little bit of a split. Atera as a tool and as an organization, we support managed service providers and IT departments. And we both have different scenarios that we want to accommodate for both cases. So let's tackle the IT department one first. Essentially, you can imagine a scenario in which we have either one team divided into two parts, or maybe you have two teams. Let's call it the IT team and the security team. And in this case, we have, let's say, dedicated support addresses, one for the IT team and one for IT-related issues and one for security-related issues. And whenever we want to have a ticket that goes to IT needs to be the one that responds as well. And the same thing with security. So the idea here is to give our end users the flexibility to define as many email addresses they want that they want to reply to. So we can configure reply addresses to be both just incoming, outgoing, incoming,
Or
and
both.
outgoing, or both, to make sure that we have all the flexibility that they need in order to reply from the correct team that's handling the issue. And now, jumping into the managed service provider scenario, we have an additional benefit. You could benefit from this if you're an IT department, but I would say that in the majority of use cases, MSPs are going to find this a little bit more useful. I could be proven wrong, but this is what we've seen, is that MSPs have an additional use case, which is defining domains. So if you're an MSP, you probably cater to a broad range of organizations and organization types. So imagine you're catering to a healthcare organization and also a manufacturing company, and you want your email replies not just to come from different addresses from the same domain, but from different domains entirely, in order to be consistent with your customers' culture and procedures, to make sure that your end users are getting the best support possible. So you'll be also able to define your very own domains within the email settings page, and you can configure multiple addresses within those domains as well. So you have a little bit of a hierarchy there that you can use.
Yeah. So multi-customer support. So this is something that was asked on different platforms for quite some time. So it's on top of UI changes, which looks way easier. Like the email settings page was completely revamped. It now looks a little bit more on the busy side because the setup involves so many moving parts, because there is a domain verification. So you need to have a list of the email, like the email domains involved. So we'll show it in a second. But the main point is that now you can actually, get the tickets from whichever email address, respond from whichever email address, and you don't have to worry about if you need to double check which address you got it from. There is a checkbox to always respond from the same one, so it stays in the same realm, so to speak. Okay. The last but not least, probably the biggest one. Before we move to the actual demo and see the features and product, so let's talk about the new tickets page, because it's one of the pages that got the new look and feel last, because it was devices pages first, if I remember this correctly, and was the one which adopted this type of approach first. Now it's the tickets page. So let's take things one by one. So the compact view. So from my personal standpoint, Lee, probably maybe there is something else that I might not be aware of, but the compact view complements the need for to see more tickets on a smaller screen, or even more tickets on a bigger one. But you tell me.
Look, it's definitely a really cool feature, definitely one that we've been wanting to do for a long time. But at the end of the day here, the name of the game is customization.
That
Ultimately, every organization works a little bit different from one another, and the information that you need to see on the screen immediately is not going to be the same information that another company needs to see. So we're going to make sure that you can customize the columns of the tickets page, make sure that you have everything that you need to see front and center, whether you need to see it detailed, compact. You can choose which columns you want to see on the page, You can drag them around and make sure that they're exactly in the way that you like to see them. Just all in all, we're moving from, the goal was to move from a static page where we didn't have as much choice to, it's all you. You can choose what to do with the page and make it fit your organization's procedures and your workflows.
And apparently, Lee, one of the things that I think we discussed, the new UI was the gatekeeper for new columns like approval flows, approval flow related fields, also to make them be present on that page because they never existed until the most recent days. So it also unlocks the possibility to for future customization probably, but yeah.
Yep. It gives us tools for scalability. So for the approvals that we're now able to add them to the page, and when we add features in the future, we'll be able to add additional filters and additional columns as we see fit.
Yeah, and the stronger filtering option to shed some light on this one, so you can filter by certain columns. My preferred way is to keep the open tickets at the top, or you can just, if you're busy with approvals and your tickets depend on an approval, you can just filter by approval pending, so you can ping the approver. So all good stuff just to to speed up their resolution time. And at the end of the day is just give you more control over what you see. And my suggestion is to move over to the platform because a picture is worth 1,000 words and the screen demonstrations is even better. Okay, so let me know if you can see my screen all right. Should I zoom in or the zoom factor is fine? Everyone who is watching our webinar, just let us know if it's zoomed enough or you need a little bit more. You can also use the zoom in button as a plus sign at the preview, but I can also zoom in a little bit more. To prove the point that the UI is also scaling, but I want to show you as many columns at the same time, I think it should be about right. Okay. We started today's session with approval flows, and as you can see, as I said, let's check the tickets which have this attribute. So regarding the approval flows, so let's open a ticket. So by default, so I'll start with the UI. Before you introduce the approval flow to a ticket, the approvals is hidden, not to make the UI too busy. As soon as you get to the ticket tool, you will see that there is a button. Because this ticket already has an approval, you can, it's grayed out, but let's try another one which doesn't have an approval, but okay. Let's do a request approval, select recipient, choose the Michael Scott as an approver and send him a request. And as soon as I send an approval request, the person will see that, and it has an ability to approve, decline, or respond. And this is where he logs into the platform using the activation link. To save us some time, I won't go through the whole flow, but the end result is just to approve, and they just move from there. And after it's approved, it gets the status, like in this situation where Michael Scott requested an approval to go on a vacation. It was approved when it was approved, and that's basically it. So, but you can also see that like the parent ticket was approved. However, there might be some subtasks, and this is where we can introduce the parent-child capabilities. And so we need first to identify the site, identify the user, ticket title, user needs an eSIM. Okay, so I'll just copy paste everything real quick, and I will create a child ticket. And as you can see, immediately the UI changed, and we now have related tickets tab, which was also hidden before. So I need an approval to go on a vacation, and user needs an eSIM because He is part of, like, as we all know, Michael Scott is the regional manager at Dunder Mifflin in a very famous TV series, and probably he needs to stay in touch and on top of his emails while he is away, maybe not. And as you can see, UI also supports breaking the link, removing the relation. It has an ability to be assigned to a different technician group if someone else needs to take it, maybe someone who deals with hardware-related requests. But at the end of the day, so the request was approved. However, we can still go to the child ticket and still request an approval because this is a hardware request, which can also be sent to apparently Michael Scott himself because he is the boss here. And yet another time he gets the user needs an eSIM, and this is where he gets everything he needs to operate. So now you can see that the ticket is in the pending approval, and even though the parent-child is approved, still the child tickets is pending approval. So the approval was ultimately approved, but the eSIM is a child request, and it works independently from the parent one. Lee, anything to add? Maybe I missed something really cool.
No, I think you did a good job.
Okay, cool. Good to know. And while we're here, a couple of quality of life improvements. This was a huge request for all those guys from mostly MSPs who attend customers on site and requested the print ticket capability. It's not like a feature, but it's a huge quality of life improvement. And you can just print out a nicely looking PDF and move from there, or you can just print it on the printer that you have access to. And on top of this, you can definitely attach. I will try to find a ticket with an attachment, but probably it will take me some time. I'll skip that for now. I won't be attaching a document for now, but trust me, and maybe I just actually can. Let's just attach something that is more or less, let's do something neutral, but we introduced the attachment preview, and apparently this is a green vertical background, and as soon as it's attached here, if the format is supported, Lee, maybe something to take as notes because I attached something that is like an advanced graphic, maybe not the most common use case, but the JPEG, doc, and PDF documents are all supported. So this works, but for a super niche format like this one, which was used for video production, so this was not apparently was not supported, but we're taking notes, and we will make sure it will be support more formats moving forward. But the main formats like PDF, docx, and so on, they're all supported on TXT, of course, just to reduce the need for downloading the documents and save you some time here and there. Moving on from there, multi-email response. So in the email settings, as soon as you go onto this page, you will see a new UI. So I will zoom in a bit, and you will see the new UI, which represents how the new email settings look like. At first, it feels super different from what it used to be. As you remember, it was super linear. Right now, it addresses several things at the same time. Oops, sorry for that. A little bit of a misclick. So first of all, you get it never changed. So you get the auto-generated incoming address, the default outgoing address, which is no reply to Atera. And as soon as you confirm the domain in the domain section, you can use a certain email for outgoing emails. And you can see that you can do it just for a single department or all departments. And also you can check the status of the DKIM verification. Before, the DKIM verification was only like hanging in a certain status. You need to manually go back and check. Right now you can enforce the check before the time runs out. Lee, thank you so much for implementing this quality of life thing. And yeah, and as soon as you go to the domains, so you can see that I have this amazing company, helpdesk.com. The protocol is DKIM, and I can check the status, and the domain verification initiated successfully, and it will return me value. I have all the CNAME records as before, and as you can see, the verification is required. And as soon as I paste it to my domain admin console, it takes anywhere from 10 minutes all the way up to like 48 to 72 hours, depending on the domain provider, but it will do it the best way possible. One important note for all those people out there about the Emacs record for the number, like for the number 10, it starts with number 10, but the 10 is the priority, not the field value. It's super important in the verification process because sometimes certain domain providers will give you an error, and this is something that I learned back in the day in my professional services days. So yeah, so this is your pro tip from my fellow department. Okay, and as soon as you have the domain verified, you can see that you can configure it for incoming and outgoing, just incoming or outgoing emails. And also you can reply from this address to tickets created from this address, which basically confirms that you can, going back to a ticket page, choosing an email from the dropdown if the email that you're responding from doesn't match the desired one. And that's basically it. You can check the status if the domain is still being verified. You can delete unneeded emails, but the main settings, which are now live in the advanced settings, another new thing, the new UI. But you can still see like the menu items for existing customers, especially. These are the same menu items. They just look nicer now. And but the purpose is still the same. As you can see, Lee, probably subject to change. We have some white space here and there, and we're actually, I think, saving some space for some cool features to come, but no commitment so far. So because usually the empty space means there's something that is intended to be there, but the development is still in progress. Lee, anything while we're here?
Well, I can neither confirm or deny. We may be thinking of something.
Yeah,
But, we'll
I mean, like no hard commitments right now, but still we're just letting people know that this is something that the empty space might be there for a reason. Okay, on to the last but not least for like the recently released features. So this is the new tickets page UI. So basically when you click on the table settings, you will see the detailed version, which is more or less somewhat familiar to all of you who joined us a year or so ago. To everyone who just started using Atera, and everyone is also encouraged from the existing customers to use the new UI. And the passive signal that you are on the new UI will mean that all the columns started to have this breadcrumb symbol. Breadcrumbs is the symbol which consists of 6 dots to combine into 2 rows. This is apparently the name of the symbol, and I learned it from the product design team. Okay, detailed and compact view is nice, but when you added the columns, as you can see, several columns haven't been here in the all UI. It's mainly for the all customers. So the approval status, creation date, and last action date. And you can move things around to prove the point that, okay, so the last action date was like January 27. However, let's see, I want also the creation date. So I want to compare apples to apples. So, okay, the ticket was created on the January 13. The last action date was January 27, which is today. And we are 7 days into SLA, and we're still looking good. And as you can see, that many tickets here are like in a good shape. However, certain things are not as common. So certain customers like asked us to, if it's possible, the sentiment column is optional because no one attends a doctor when he's healthy, but most of the tickets apparently have a set smiley. So you can just make it a little bit more compact. And and also the approval status, the field that actually last action date, and maybe the ticket is stuck because the approval status is pending approval, not approved like on what I'm showing. Not super relevant for like an IT department, but super relevant for MSPs is the customer field. So basically, in our case, we all tickets come from the very same site, and aka the same customer. But for MSPs, it will be super critical. And as you can see, you can stretch them to size. Maybe like you have a smaller screen than I do, and now we can click on the status to see like just the pending tickets, filter by activity status, filter by priority, filter by contact, assign technician, group, and as you can see, everything turns into a finger point icon instead of my cursor, meaning that this column you can filter by. And as you can see, I sorted by ticket ID because this is like the more or less something that I'm used to, but still I also can sort things by status, and I immediately get this type of view, which is custom to every technician. So you share your thoughts in the community how you want to utilize it. And we also opened a thread on user voice to collect the feedback. So it's literally called new tickets page feedback. And so go ahead and find it, try the new UI, let us know what you think, because this is the golden moment for us to make adjustments, if any. Okay, so I pretty much covered the features that we talked about, Lee, but before we move on to the Q&A section, let's do a quick recap. So all the features that we covered today are all intended to a good cause. So less friction, more clarity as the slide goes, and basically less back and forth, better resolution times, and better collaboration. So Atera can be used by not only IT teams, but someone else. Also, clear ability to track all the key actions that need to happen to a certain item, so you never stay out of tune when it comes down to the project management, because projects never stay for stay for days, they usually stay for weeks. Yeah, and all in all, faster resolution times. What's next? This is the slide that is probably, I'm not the person to talk about it, Lee. So Mike, back to you. So let's start with the first one, and it's a huge one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a big one. So it's a big one, and it's kind of a long time coming as well. So our knowledge base page has been with us for a long time, and we love it dearly. But it's time that we bring it to the next level, which means that first and foremost, we are in the process of doing a UI overhaul of every page of the knowledge base, whether it be the main lobby page, the categories page, the KB creation page. We're revamping the entire thing with a whole new look and feel, not just for looks, but also for ease of use. Make sure that both managing and reading and creating KBs is easier and more efficient. So there's a UI component, there's the UX component, and we're also going to be adding additional functionalities to make sure that you can better manage your KBs. Instead of having to go into them individually, you'll be able to manage them all from a single hub. So that is a big part of what we want to do very, very soon, actually. So we're in the process of working on this right now.
Okay, on to the next one. One of the words we haven't used that much in Atera product communications so far, but we probably gonna change that. The word is omni-channel. So Lee.
Sure.
Mike, to you.
So WhatsApp is a growing channel among our customers. A lot of our end users, whether it be IT departments or MSPs, want to be able to give the opportunity to their customers to chat with them directly using WhatsApp, which is an application that can be used on a phone or the computer, and they want to be able to have a chat experience with your technicians, which is why we're giving you the option of having a WhatsApp integration with Atera. So it's a requested feature that we thought was a great idea that we wanted to implement, and it's coming very soon.
That is super cool, and more to come, because omni-channel means many. So no spoilers, but yeah, let's see what 2026 has for us. Okay, ticket oversight and dependencies improvements. So
Sure.
yeah, couple of. Mhm.
Yeah, so we are expanding the ways that we manage tickets within the platforms. So an example of that would be the dependencies feature. So in other words, we mentioned parent-child tickets earlier in the conversation, and how currently, in order to say resolve a project, you would need to resolve all the child tickets, or you would need to resolve the child tickets to complete a project, or if you want to complete an incident, you would complete a parent to complete the children. So ultimately, what we want to do is automate this process and make sure that we can, depending on the scenario, either solve all the child tickets or solve the parent according to the child. The name of the game here is more automation, more time saved, and that's what we're going to be doing soon as well.
Okay, and notification experience improvements, which is apparently not only a PSA improvement and across Atera improvement. All product squads are involved in this one, but please share what you have in store in regards to notification improvements.
Sure. So, like you said, everyone who uses Atera is going to benefit from our brand new notification center that we're working on. But it especially benefits those working with the PSA, because they will be able to get real-time notifications on the activity of the tickets that they're currently working on, whether it be replies, notes, status changes, different items in the workflows that need your attention. The idea here is more transparency, more automation, making sure that you have everything that you need to see all in one place.
Okay, yeah. So that's about it for today. Let's move on to the a little bit more challenging part for us, Lee. I don't know. I'm just opening the Q&A section. So I'll try to address as many questions until the time runs out. We have several minutes left. So let's. Is there a roadmap for? I will combine the two questions into one. So the Zoom chat, probably Zoom chat, and Teams integration. So Teams integration exists in the realm of autopilot. However, there's still something to finish with the Teams integration for the PSA component, but maybe you have something more than I do.
Yeah, there is a team integration planned. No ETA just yet, but it's part of the roadmap.
Yeah, and Zoom chat was something that it was in the talks, but no concrete plan so far. So it's under consideration. We are aware, but because usually small organizations tend to use the Zoom chat as the corporate messenger. Most of the enterprise that we talk to, they use either Slack or Teams. So these are the first two we introduced for autopilot, and we will also work on the omni-channel capabilities regardless of the AI component. So stay tuned for the updates. The next one is if a customer that I'm doing, if I have a customer that I'm probably doing a co-manage and I want to get a license for their internal IT, it only allows them to see their own company. How does this look? So, so this is more of a platform question, but the short answer is role-based access control. So you can limit their view to just to see their own information. Same goes out to their ticket queue, and they will be exposed only to this information. And we will be also expanding how granular can you go moving forward. This is something that we considering heavily, but also it has a lot of moving parts under the hood. Lee, you know probably better than I do. If you have a couple of comments here, but
No, I think you did a good job answering that.
yeah. Okay. Oh, if an alert creates a ticket on the next check, alert is back below the threshold, do you get a ticket to auto close? We discussed this. You remember in the
Yeah.
week before?
It's a great suggestion. And it's one that's come up a lot. It's one that we're very, very much aware of. And this one is also in the roadmap. So this is planned, and and we will be getting to this as well. So great suggestion. Definitely very, very relevant.
Yeah, and also what was also like requested on user voice, 2 cents from my end, was that the ticket, like the alert to ticket relation and the ticket to alert. So can a one be auto closed if the other one is closed? So this is exactly what we're thinking of, and this is something that we will definitely work on. So Lee is nodding, so I'll take this as a yes. No
Yes,
ETA just yet, but it's definitely coming.
it's
So okay, this
it's
one.
part of our plans. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the questions, well, not a question, but a comment. It will be good to have history thread added to the email, which saves the approver time, but it is added. So the context is there. So Kartik, please check out the most recent addition to the product and try to throw in a test approval to see the email thread. If it's not showing up, tell our support so we can investigate, but it should. So Yami asked a question which is more on the user voice side and the feature board. So I'll take this one. So Lee, nothing to do for you. So there are many suggestions on the Atera forum. So by Atera forum, probably you mean the user voice. So from the product marketing management and the product management, we are working on an improved process, which we started as I joined the department. We reworked the roadmap page. Now it exposes you to the most recently added features in chronological order, divided by quarter and relevance. That's number one. Number two, I started to give super in-depth technical response to features that are there. The most recent feature I try to tackle as soon as they show up. If it is an existing feature, I try to address it right away with all my product knowledge that I have. If this is something I need to take internally, I do. If it's a part of a grand scheme of things, so to speak, we consolidate ideas to give us a better visibility. So we develop a meaningful feature, trying not to forget small moving parts because some features are suggested several times from different angles, and the level of details in those feature requests are different. And for instance, like the feature that we just discussed, the auto close alerts and auto closing tickets were, I think, at least 3 or 4 different threads, and I combine them into one so we can keep track of those things. And it also declutters overall user voice platform. So I'm monitoring this personally. I'm the person in charge, and
So
if we
Dima,
see that.
I think when they refer to the forums, I think user voice is definitely one of those areas that they would go to. But I think they may have also been referring to the community, the Atera community. So that's also
That is so
an
true.
option.
So that is also so true. I'm the person currently managing it. We'll probably getting additional members, and we'll also be involving the product team. This is something that we discussed internally to manage our domains, so to speak, but also a lot of, let's say, personal one-to-one Q&A I do in DMs, and we sometimes discover threads which are like a couple of days or maybe weeks, sometimes even years old, and we try to get back to all those questions. Like if it was addressed, what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to elevate this experience, and everybody's invited into the conversation club, and we not only sharing like the problems, which we definitely can, but also anything that you can find useful. Like recently, one of the customers posted that he had a creative way of using the API, which is also going to improve very soon. You will see a new API key management page. And there are many, many moving parts there, and we are taking it to the next level, how we treat those resources. Nothing is being ignored. We watch it closely, and if it makes sense to interfere, respond, make a comment, provide you the, like now I'm able to provide you the professional services grade type of response, be my guest on all those resources, and no wrong questions there in either of those. Okay, so okay, so can our ticketing system receive is this a phishing email from a user? Scan it, give it a yes or a no.
Yeah, so Atera isn't an email security platform. there are other dedicated email security platforms that are probably a better fit for that use case specifically. One recommendation that you can look at is Iron Scales, which is available in our App Center. But yeah, definitely a lot of really good options there. But when it comes to security, best stick with one of the dedicated vendors. We can do a lot of things with the ticket. We can tag the ticket as a phishing ticket. We can do it automatically with AI even. We can do automatic workflows where we can direct phishing emails to the correct person. There's a lot that we can do with security emails. But as for whitelisting an email or blacklisting an email, say this is good, this is safe, there you need some dedicated security tools.
Yeah. Okay. It would be good to have a default email notification templates and triggers, at least basic ones. We provide some, but probably Kartik, when asking this question, is referring to can we build in a more extensive library, so to speak? So, Lee, the request is to have more email templates out of the box, which we provide. So, anything to share in this regard?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, end users can create and customize email templates as they see fit. We have a large variety of snippets that they can use that they can pull data into their email templates. If you have any suggestions for any additional data that you'd like to pull in, let us know, and we're happy to take a look.
Yeah, it's a perfect use case of community. And I'll probably be sharing some of the email templates that I created over the, like a couple of those simple ones yet powerful ones to enable your extra capabilities in the ticketing domain, because customers asked me for several things. So how can I access a ticket directly? Out of the box, you need to be a little bit creative, but the short answer, you can definitely like skip the main tickets page and go straight into the ticket right from the email. And if you're logged in, you will get straight to answering the ticket, and it's just one click away. So I will be probably doing a post about this as a, let's say, retrospective from what I did in the PS. Okay, is there a way we can import articles from Confluence into a KB page? So short answer, you can import KB articles from whichever source you like. It's a PS request. We're doing this through a dedicated tool. However, our most recent addition to IT Autopilot is the MCP integration. So apparently you can complement your Atera KB articles with an MCP integration. To whoever who doesn't know what this is, it's a model context protocol which allows AI to help you out in a third-party tool and get external knowledge into Atera and work more seamlessly. This is something that is available today. I have a couple more questions left. I'll try to answer them after the fact via email. You'll get the recording. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I see that we have a couple more questions here and there. However, everybody's we're so thankful to you for joining us today, and I hope it was useful. And let us know if you enjoy the format. Join the community, post things on User Voice. We're trying to build a new version of of the model, how we communicate to you. And please talk to us. Don't be a stranger. And as always, see you in the next one. Lee, a couple of words from you.
Yeah, thank you, Dima, for hosting. This was a lot of fun, and I hope we get it to do it again sometime. And it was great seeing you all come and join and hear what we have to say. And look forward to talking to some of you, and it'll be great.
See you in the next one, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
See ya.